If any of the other candidates feel that they would really like to chime in on that issue or have a rebuttal for something that's been said, we'll offer up to 3 of those at 30 seconds each. So our first question is going to focus on this relationship with Entergy, as will several of the questions. New Orleans is the only Louisiana city, as we mentioned, with independent regulatory authority over its investor-owned utility. The rest of the state is regulated by Louisiana Public Service Commission, or they own or operate their own utility. So how does the City Council's authority over Entergy uniquely benefit New Orleans, both citizens and businesses? Should the council continue to protect its unique role as energy regulators? And I'm going to address this question to table 2. So we can start with Susan Guidry, if you'd like.
Thank you. Yes, it is a very unique situation that we have here, and it's one that the voters decided on in 1985, and that is because we went with the Louisiana Public Service Commission and prior to that, and they were sending the cost of nuclear power to New Orleans and giving us the majority of that cost over the rest of Louisiana. And so the Alliance for Affordable Energy was formed, and they educated the public, and we voted to bring the regulation of Entergy back to the City Council. And it is important for us to have that because we are a very small and very unique area here. And if we do not have that, if we do not have a voice as large as the Louisiana Public Service Commission's voice, as large as the rest of the state, then we are going to be consumed, and we are going to wind up having most of the cost and not get as good a service. The City Council has had helped to make the rates decrease 5 years in a row now.
We're
That
gonna call
nowhere
time.
across the country has that happened, but here.
So, Drew Ward.
Does anybody have $500 I can borrow? Well, because the reason I say that is because the council does regulate the utilities here, but instead of working toward your benefit, they're used as a revenue stream. And if you look in the budget, you'll find that Entergy is charged quite a bit in franchise fees. In fact, the franchise fee agreement, the core one, says that Entergy will pay the City of New Orleans 5% of its revenues in exchange for the, quote, rights and privileges of using the roadways and bridges of Orleans Parish. That was nice of us, right? That money gets divided directly per ratepayer, 165,000 ratepayers. The fees that are paid to law firms by the council to tell them, protect them from regulatory decisions. The fees that are paid to consultants, tens of millions of dollars sometimes, for how to regulate. It equates to roughly $100 million a year in the city budget between Entergy, Cox, and AT&T that's being passed to you. The City Council can decide tomorrow to do away with those, and you can save money. That's affordable energy.
Thank you. David Capasso.
First meeting, if I was elected as your councilman for District A, Charles Rice, attorney for Energy, went to law school with me. Charles, I want you to meet Alliance for Affordable Energy. I want you to meet Darryl Malka. I want you to see the people, Harley Weiner, a friend of mine. I want you to meet people who have been years, Ben Gordon, Brad Ott. I want you to meet the people that actually have something to say about utility poles that could be underground, about solar energy credits that are actually the people run this city. The City Council regulates you. You're a Fortune 500 company. Before Hurricane Katrina, you kind of took advantage, and after Hurricane Katrina, you almost tried to move away. You tried to get your credits from George Bush. You didn't get your money from George Bush, and you threatened to move away if you didn't get it. And there was a kind of compromise, so you broke off to Entergy New Orleans. And you wanted to say, well, we're not really the same company on. So if Entergy makes a loss or profit on Wall Street, but Entergy New Orleans loses money, they actually say they have a rate hike. So I'm looking forward to sitting down at the table. That's kind of my platform, whether it's noise or living wages or jobs or energy. Sit down at the table with the people that know it. I'm not an energy guru, Ms. Guidry, but I know people that do know this stuff. And energy, you're at the table with us and kind of listen to us because we run the show.
Roll call time. Eloise Williams.
Yes. Thank you, Drew. It's so true. It's so true. It's on time with energy. And as myself, as a community activist, community concerned person, all of these issues my whole life has intertwined with. And I said, we, as the people, we always on the short end. I don't care how the council go to the board, when they never have any one of us sitting on that board to say for all of the people, what you're doing is not right for the people, because the government pays so much money towards affordable energy. Then they come to us and they make us pay so much money. So they can never go broke, but we will if we continue following through with them and not sitting to the table and knowing the whole story of what really happening with energy.
Thank you. So if anyone at table 1 or Mr. Green has a comment or a rebuttal, we'll take up to 3 of those. Go ahead and just raise your hand if you'd like to say something. Ms. Jackie Clarkson, yes?
Well, I'd like to say that the reason the city council is so effective in being the regulators of energy, and we are the only city in America that does it. And I know the difference because I've had District C most of my career. And I live in